that's alcohol.
We got the converter back apart. Now it's Sunday. I don't know what time it is. Maybe 12 o'clock. Yeah, exactly, 12 o'clock. Got the trans out in like an hour. Although it's set up fairly easy to do in this car. Like, all the brake lines are ran up over. So like when you disconnect the trans and diff and pull all that out, you don't have to take all that out like you do in normal stock C6Z or anything like that. We have it set up to where it can be pretty much pulled out very easily for instances like this if we're at the racetrack or something. But we just got to switch the center part out. I'm putting the old one back in, and I'm just going to shim it full tight, because I think with the gear change and the stator change, it was just way too tight. So like the new stator I got might be okay for the 1/8 mile gears, but for 1/4 mile gears and that tight of a stator, it's just way too tight. So what I'll do for this race, I'll put my old stator back in and I'll shim it full tight, and I'll leave obviously this 373 gear in. And then when I go back to 1/8 mile next year, I'll put the tight stator in, and then I'll put I have 456s back in. I'll see how it does on the 456s. It might be too much gear. If I don't like it, then I'll change the gears. And the other one that I have, maybe I'll put like a 410 or a 430, depending on what I feel is right. And then we'll switch that one in and see what it does. But that's next season, you know, when we're back to 1/8 mile. For now, we're concentrating on this. So there's like 2 little snap rings on there that we gotta pop out and then switch it back to the old stator, and then do this. This is the turbine wheel. That's what they call it. And then there is shims and stuff under there. So that's what we have to do. Full tight is basically no shims in here. Like these 3, that's, I guess according to Neil Chance's website, that makes it the loosest it can be. So that's how I had the other stator. So we're going to take these out, put 3 more underneath here, because you have to keep the same amount. 3 more underneath here, and then just put the stator back on top of here with no shims up here. And that will be full tight on the other stator. I can't even turn this off. I got trans fluid all in my fingers. Alright, we got it switched over. So there's no shims under here. Basically just the race on either side of the bearing. But other than that, there's no shims. So there's really 6 under here instead of 3 under here, and 3 in between here. So this is the old stator. We'll put it back together, and hopefully this works, because I don't really have any more test days. Wednesday I think I'm going to test, but then it looks like rain Thursday, and then there's qualifying Friday and Saturday, so we'll see. Alright, we are at World Cup. I got here yesterday at like 2 o'clock, but the line is getting pretty crazy now. Last night there was only 2 lines, which is these first 2 lines on the main pavement, and they go all the way back there. You can see me right behind the English Racing, right there. That's my setup. And then now they got, I think, 5 or 6 more lines of people stacked up, and it is it's Tuesday at 5:30. So you can see all they open the gates tomorrow at I think 8 a.m. So I don't know if you can see, but Jason and his crew are out there with the tractors dragging the track, and they've been prepping it all day. Just getting set up for the test and tune session tomorrow. We'll have I think it's like $200 to run tomorrow, so I'll do that and we'll test. And then Thursday looks like it's going to rain, so that's probably going to be a wash. So we'll probably just hang out Thursday, but KP's on her way down in a little bit. She just got off work, so she'll probably be here in like 3 hours. But other than that, I haven't been doing shit. I've just been hanging out, just along with like everyone else that's here. So pretty uneventful until tomorrow. So you can see there's some people pulling in now. That was like 3 or 4 rigs in a row. I'm guessing everyone's kind of getting off work and headed here tonight. It'll be a good weekend. All right, gates just opened. It is 8:02. Actually opened about 10 minutes ago, but I don't know how many rows of rigs there is, but I know Jason posted this morning and said that this entire lot was full and that they were putting them in another lot. I don't know where the other lot B was, but that's crazy because that means there's probably 7 or 8 rows of rigs. So a ton of people are coming earlier and earlier this year. Zeus is ready to get in. So we're gonna get in and get set up and test and everything today. So I'll keep you guys updated. All right, well, we just got parked. We got a good spot. I mean, like I said, we were probably only 15 rigs back from the front of the line. So we got, you know, the boards and everything are right there so we can get good footage and see. We got a whole set of bleachers behind us. And we're right up front here on the track. So I got the car out. It started, which is further than I got last year. So we're ahead of the game. Got it all loaded up. Got this guy from G-Force Transmissions next to me. He's got a Mustang that he runs in NA 10.5. So we're gonna get set up and get ready and make some hits as soon as they open the lanes. I don't know what time that's gonna be, maybe 10 o'clock or so. I don't even have a watch on. I'm looking at my wrist. It's 9 o'clock right now. So, all right, just got the car teched in. Everything went good with that. So I'm just letting it, I drove it up there and drove it back. That way we didn't have to push it. And so whatever, I paid the test today. A bunch of people are still coming in. They're calling people to lanes now to test. So I'm gonna let the car cool for a little bit and get everything ready and get set up and go make a hit.
Maybe a couple blocks past
Okay.
McDonald's.
First test hit at World Cup. We're going right lane.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're a long time.
At 138. I guess he let off early. That's okay. He told me earlier he wasn't making a full pass, so I kind of expected it. We didn't have enough ice in it for a full pass. I think he just kind of went to see how the track was. So next time.
Felt decent. It still feels a little tight with this converter and stuff. I mean, I don't know if I'm just not used to it because of this gear. Definitely felt better than it was last weekend at Cecil. Still seemed like it hung the RPM a little bit, but I'll look at the data log and see. I mean, it felt okay. I mean, I heard her on the radio. It's still, I mean, it went 790 something, but I let off, but that's basically what it always does when I let off, so. I'd like that pass to have been in the 480 range in the 8th, but we'll see. I'm gonna cross the scales now. Not that it matters because I'm 100 pounds heavy for this class that I have to run anyway. I generally weigh like 3185, but we'll see. Scales are different everywhere. You know, they can vary a little bit, so we'll see what they weigh here. Sometimes they're a little heavy here. I'm gonna guess like 3,200 or something on the nose is my guess.
S&W has been a worldwide leader in drag race chassis design and development.
3,205. So I was gonna say they're generally, you know, just from coming to this track before, they're generally 15 pounds heavier than Cecil scale. So I'm allowed to weigh 3050. So in reality, I'm 150 pounds heavy. But I just can't get that weight out of the car. I mean, unless I'm going to get some, you know, maybe this winter or something. I want to do something to get some of the weight out, but I don't know if I'll be able to get 150 pounds out. So we'll see. I mean, it was an alright first pass. I'd like to get into 70s today and kind of go from there, but hopefully I can. We'll see.
That's alcohol. That's alcohol.
That definitely felt better. Still feels a little on the tight side on the converter, but I mean, we don't have a choice now. We're going to deal with it, but it definitely felt better and less lazy than the first pass. The first pass kind of drug on for a little while. That one kind of seemed to pull through it, and which is okay, because once the weekend goes on and the weather gets better and better, this thing will make more power. So it should help it pull through that. So I'm gonna guess that was an 82. Well, that was it was only at 489 in the 8th, at 146. It seems like I really have to throw power at this thing early to get it to do anything. I mean, I threw some at it there, but I thought it would pick up more, but I guess not. I mean, I haven't ran a full pass yet, you know, and it went 774 at 151, but that's 489 is not going to cut it this weekend. I need to go a low 70 or something, at least a mid 70, you know. So we got some work to do. I'm going to make another pass, and I might throw a whole bunch of power at it and really see what it does. I mean, I don't really have a choice. It's either that or I pull the trans and shit back out, but I don't really feel like doing that, so we'll see.
Hey.
Hi, babes.
And starter bike cage shutting them down. That'll look good. A lot of
He pretty much hates when I film.
400 feet for the model there. It looked like it might have been turbo scope.
I think he, traction control got the best of him there. We'll see.
Well, that spun like I pretty much thought it was going to do. It needs more rear gear, and I'm debating overnighting one to the shop and having Matt or Eric assemble it in my other center section tomorrow, and bring it down and switch it. I mean, this thing's just not going to run unless I do it, honestly.
All right, well, yesterday's video kind of got cut short and I a little rushed out of it. They, I guess, whatever, when I was capping plugs, when I started to, it like started to spit. And I wanted to make another pass before it started raining last night, so I like basically got my car together and rushed up in the lanes. I threw a whole bunch of power at it just to see if I could get it to go down the track, and I could see if I could get it to go fast with the setup that's in there now. And it ended up spinning. So the combo that's in there now is just not going to work. It at Cecil with the other stator that I thought was too tight, I went a 482 at like almost 148. Yesterday I struggled to even go an 80. So I went a 489 at like 145 or something. Mile an hour is low. So what it needs is more gear. When I used to run quarter mile, I had a 389 in there. And what we were trying to do with this stator and stuff like that was shift lower and keep everything lower so I don't have to rev the 9,000, etc., all that. Well, that's just not going to work because it's too low of a gear in the rear for what my trans gearing is. I have a 158 first gear. If I had a 180 first gear in there, it'd probably be okay. But for 8th mile, the setup that I run is what I need to run, and I'm not changing the trans for one race a year. I'll change the rear gear. That's no big deal. But so this is racing, and this is why a lot of people don't do it and don't actually race competitively. It's a whole different ball game. I overnighted a set of gears, and which I'm an idiot because I forgot that I already have a set of 389 gears that I used to have in this rear at the shop. So whatever, I overnighted a set. They came today, and then Matt's like, don't you have an old set? Whatever. So Matt is at the shop right now. It is Thursday. Matt is at the shop right now putting my 389 gears in my other rear diff that I had the 456s in for 8th mile. So he's going to put the 389 in that center section, and he's coming down later. We're going to pull the trans and diff back out. I'm going to put my other stator back in. So this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've changed the stator now. I'm going to put my other stator back in. We're going to put the 389 gear in it. And then hopefully that will be significantly better than it is. It's just not enough gear to short track. And the short track is where all your ET is. I couldn't get it to really do much no matter how much power I threw at it yesterday. It just wasn't working. So is what it is. I love Matt for the dedication to doing this, and he's going to come down later. I think he's about done the gears now. I don't even know what time it is. It's about 12 o'clock now. So
what you doing now?
Setting backlash.
Okay. For the people that don't know, backlash is kind of like how the gears touch, where it positions. You want to explain a little bit better? I'm not very good at explaining it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, when you're setting up a diff, there's two real measurements that are important. It's pinion load, well, pinion depth too, 3. Pinion load, pinion depth, and backlash. So what I'm doing right now is backlash, which is essentially Right now it's too tight, which put it on there so you can actually see it. It's right about 5 right now. I'm gonna get that between 8 and 12.
Tightening one, loosening the other in order to get the right amount.
Yeah, so the main caps are threaded. So I'm basically either tightening or loosening either side to move the entire ring gear over.
Gotcha.
All right, so right there we're at 11. So we tighten it up, hopefully pull it right down at 8 or 9.
Okay.
So far so good. That should be pretty close. Still hair loose.
He, I guess, is going to come down after lunch, and I'm going to get the car out of the trailer. I'm in the trailer right now. I'm going to get the car set up. I'm going to put it up on jack stands. I'm going to take the wheels and all that stuff off, so when he gets here, we can just start ripping it apart. And I don't know if we'll make Q1 tonight or not, but if not, you know, whatever. We got Q2 tomorrow, so keep you guys updated. Zeus has a friend, too. Got another friend. I was gonna say they're friends now.
Oh yeah, we had you out there playing.
Yeah, I saw your Snapchat. Zeus and Zeus.
Oh, soft spot. They got the awesome picture. They
Did
were
they?
both laying on the ground, and we were standing behind them like this, and they got a picture of all 4 of us. It's so awesome. He's gonna send it to me in a little bit. Friends forever.